Hello everyone and welcome to Lush and Salty Aquariums. My name is Stefan and I'm sitting on the floor because I'm looking at a 5-gallon aquarium that's set up on the lowest rack of the support system, which I adore, that's currently in my fish room. This aquarium I set up about 2 months ago. It's a 5-gallon Rimless from Aqueon. I got it at the Petco half price sale, which is a great way to buy your aquariums when they go on half price, which they do 2-3 times a year, and or when they do the $1 a gallon. That's the way to go. Everybody knows it. It's the most known hack around. So anyway, about 2 months ago I set up this aquarium and I didn't have a single plan for it. Well, that's not true. My goal was to put trimmings from all my various tanks because I hate to throw away plants, and so that's what I did. On the left I put in some Ludwigia repens, that stem plant, and then I've got this, I think this is the Rotala indica, that stem plant that's really become quite proliferate in this tank. Some Hygrophila pinnifada, Pogo stem and octopus right here, that stem in the corner. I wrapped some of my Christmas moss around 4 different pieces of lava rock, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I put those in the tank, as well as this is a piece of Hygrophila pinnifada that was attached to a little piece of driftwood that came out during a maintenance, but it was a lovely plant growth on it, and so I kept that. I put in some sage over here in the corner. I had quite a few crypts actually up in the front of either side, but they all melted back, and I didn't pull them out. I just pulled the dead stuff out, and it's possible and likely that it will regrow. The only thing that would curtail that from happening is that the front levels on the substrate, I think, are too shallow. If I could do it all over again, I would have made that thicker up front. I just ran out of material actually, so I've got UNS aqua soil at the bottom, capped by some somewhat thicker sized gravel. That might be the fancy ADA river stone or river pebbles, but that's what I had on hand, so that's what I used. But oh, and I'll get to the livestock because I just put that in actually, which is what triggered me making this video in the first place. The plants, there's no CO2, and there's the cheapest Hygrolite that you can get. Well, at least in terms of the ones that are formed in this fashion, with the brackets, etc. And it's the smallest size. What I liked about it is it has a really simple on-off. It's not highly complex, so if I have it set on the built-in 12-hour timer, which is a lot of photo period, but I was primarily just going to be growing plants, so that works fine. I put in a super duper simple sponge filter and a 5-watt aquarium heater that's set for 78. So this tank, the goal is to not have to do a whole lot of maintenance. In the early going, I did check it for all the water parameters, and they were honestly terrible at first because I had no livestock, so the nitrogen cycle was flawed in terms of running its course. I needed some ammonia in the tank, some waste to get things going full circle and seed the sponge, etc. But finally some snails and a couple stowaway shrimps, and the parameters started to even out. I added a mystery snail from one of the other tanks, and a few other Neocaridina shrimp from some of the other tanks. And I bought 3 panda corridors, which stay small, and if they were to get too big or boisterous, I could put them in any number of other tanks. And a more interesting Coryadora, these jet black ones. I have 3 of those I got at the Greenwater Swap. There's one being frisky. What a cool fish. I wish I would have had 6 of those. I love Panda Coryadora, but I wish I would have had 6 of those instead because they're rarer and the price was really good at the swap. I'm not sure how much bigger they'll get, but like both the species in this tank, they will get bigger and they might outgrow this tank. But I wanted them in there to clean up any food particles that I was now putting in to help create some ammonia, as well as feed the snails and the shrimp. Not that they need that, and I'm talking very small amounts. But with these fish in there, I am now putting some baby brine and a small pinch of food in every so often, because now I have 6 fish, 6 Coryadora catfish. So there's the species. I wish I had more, like the scientific name. I'm guessing it's a Venezuelan hybrid, like the Coryadora Venezuela, but all black. What a nifty fish. I really like it, and it would totally pop in so many different kinds of tanks. Sometimes Coryadoras, they just don't pop because they sort of blend into the substrate. Even pandas will lose their vibrancy depending on what substrate you're using. They can wash out with a lighter one, or darken to match up with a darker one. So it's tough to find a Coryadora that just explodes from a distance, like right when you look at the tank, but these certainly do that, right? And the plants, how exciting. They really look good. I mean, and I have minimal algae, and I'm gonna have to trim this indica. It's got the nice red tops, and I want to take all those cuttings. I was gonna replant them in here in lieu of these, which are being very slow growing, but since they look good, and I don't mind that they're slow growing, it makes my life easier actually. I'm going to use these cuttings probably in a tank I'm setting up for my mom. Believe it or not, the good son is going to set up a beta tank for his mother, who lives not too far from here, so that'll be fun and exciting, and I'll undoubtedly do a video about that. But so this plant holding tank, grow out tank, now has a little bit of livestock in it, mostly to help me maintain it. I am going to be adding more shrimp because I don't mind a ton of shrimp reproducing in here. I mean, this is the perfect tank for that, especially with a sponge filter. And it'll be nice to have a robust colony of Neocaridina, cherry shrimp, yellows, few other types of Neocaridina, and then not have any predaceous fish, which is the case in all my other tanks. So that's where I'm at with this little 5-gallon. Any questions, comments, please hit me up. I'd love to hear from you, and I will see you soon. Always keep your hands in the tank. Ciao for now.